Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're calling from. As we normally do, we're just going to give it a few minutes as lots of people are dropping in right now. So while we're waiting, and I'll be running some polls momentarily. Please drop your name, into the chat. Tell us where you're calling from, and we'll just get these polls moving right away. So here we go.
Welcome, Siggy from Vegas. Wolfgang from Germany, yet again.
Kings on them all.
Pravesh from Virginia, nice to see you. All right, look at this. 3/4 of the people attended last week's seminar on customizing IQ2 Plus and the remote. So, okay, we'll close that poll and we're going to move to the next. This is going to be a new one for everybody.
Probably an exciting question for some people, huh?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see it. David from Muskoka's calling in. Mary from Georgia. Scott from Calgary. So just over two-thirds would be interested in learning more about Zigbee security and home automation. Interesting. Okay, so a follow-up question to that would be, and this is, feel free to choose more than one, choose all that apply. So if we were going to introduce Zigbee security devices, would you be interested in installing which devices? Peter from Pennsylvania is dropping in. Chris from South Carolina.
It's great, Neil. We're incorporating a little bit of voice of the customer in these.
Exactly. So yeah, pretty good mix here. About 60-70% would be interested in all of those.
Nice.
All right, we'll close that off. And now we got some questions about these workshops. So in future, would you like us to see co-present with partners like Alarm.com, Kwikset, Yale, just to name a few? Oh, wow.
I know how I'd vote with this.
Very strong. 97% would like us to see us co-present. So we'll definitely take that into account for for future planning of these workshops. And then one more question about these workshops.
Neil, I'm curious who voted no on that one.
I'll look later.
No, we only want to see the JCI guys.
Well, nobody feels nobody feels the workshops are too long. So we have about 83% right now, 84, saying that it's the perfect amount of perfect length, and about 16-17% saying it's too short.
Can I make a suggestion to those who say it's too short? They can always reach out to the local technical account manager and schedule a longer training on the topic. How about that?
Very good. All right. Well, I'm going to pass this off to Joel and Freddie, and they'll be talking about our PG9905 and the Smarter Business Temp monitoring from Alarm.com. So everybody, I hope you really enjoy this.
Thanks, Neil. So thanks for joining, everyone. I think today is going to be pretty insightful. One of the things that I wanted to do with today's workshop was kind of highlight a specific product and specific applications. This is one of those things that we've made for many years that I think is overlooked in its usefulness, especially with the intrusion trade. We didn't really, think of monitoring temperature for a long time, but now that everything is all encompassing, we're seeing quite a bit more of this device being utilized, but I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of what this is, what it does, how we implement it, and how you guys are going to be able to really get more reoccurring revenue from this device. So, Freddie, tell us a little bit about this, if you would. You're on mute, buddy.
Sorry, guys.
Out of the gate.
The PG9905 has a built-in internal temperature sensor, good for detecting temperatures in the range of -4 degrees to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's -20 to 50 degrees Celsius for those in Canada and those that use Celsius. We also
included you in this.
the optional external temperature probe, PG Temp-PROB. This unit will allow you to wire it to the sensor and reach temperatures down to -22 Fahrenheit and as high as 158 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's that -30 to 70 degrees Celsius. We supervise that probe for disconnection or accidental cuts, and the temperature accuracy is within ±3 degrees roughly. The notes on this, the PG Temp-probe is the only recommended probe sensor used when wiring into the transmitter. And it's you can think of a lot of applications to use this in, and we'll talk some more about it as we go. It's compatible with the Neo and the IQ2 Plus and everything going forward.
Yeah, so keep in mind, guys, this is a PowerG device, so it's compatible with all of our PowerG compatible panels, right? Good point on that probe, Freddie. I can tell you, I personally, when we launched this years ago, I personally tried out third-party manufacturers' probes to see if they would work. They're not accurate with this sensor. You want to make sure you use the one that we build for it specifically. So first, let's talk about some of our programming, and specifically with the PowerSeries Neo and the PowerSeries Pro. We have 3 different definitions for this device. The first being is a 052. Okay, so when you enroll the sensor into the panel, you give it a definition just like you would any other device, but we have 3 that are specific to the temp sensor. The 24-hour non-alarm is if you want just to be able to see the local temperature. You don't want it to report to the central station. You don't want it to go to Alarmcom, any third party. You just want to be able to see that local temperature, maybe for your wine cellar or wine case, something like that. You can tell I have wine on the mind because that's the only example I can give you. Something I do want to point out for you, and I have a note there, is this definition is not compatible with the Alarm.com Smarter Business Temperature Monitoring Solution. We're going to talk about that. So this would be more of a standalone application when using the PowerSeries Neo and the PowerSeries Pro. Next slide, Freddie. The next definition is your 24-hour high temp. So this is a 056. So what this does is it will report a high temp alarm to your central station and to Alarm.com when you reach the threshold. Now, you saw earlier, Freddie mentioned that you have some pretty extreme highs and some pretty extreme lows that this thing can be programmed to. Those thresholds are programmed specifically for the device in programming. So after we enroll this device, we're actually going to set what that threshold is specific to this high temp alarm. Go ahead, next slide, Freddie. The 057 is your 24-hour low temp alarm. So this is going to report again to the central station and to Alarm.com if it drops below the program threshold. Now, again, the last 2 definitions that I showed you, unlike the first definition that I showed you, will generate local alarm conditions, right? So sounders from the siren, from the keypad, you'll get a message and enunciation locally there on your keypad. So you'll know that this guy is in alarm. And all of that can also be configured through things like attributes. So you can really get specific in how you want this to work in the application you're going. And then next slide, Freddie. So how do we set the threshold, right? And again, we have 3 different zone types for this, or what you may be used to is called a group type of 52. That's the non-alarm. 56 is your low. 57 is your high. And then after you enroll the device, which enrolls just like any other PowerG, so you get the auto enroll function, all that good stuff. Depending on the definition, you're going to set your threshold for your temperature warning and your temperature alarm. Okay, so if it's high or low, you have a warning and a low. A warning and an alarm that can be programmed in to best fit that scenario, right? So when you hit a warning, it's going to be about 5 degrees is what you want to separate them by minimum. Your warning is going to locally enunciate on the keypad. with a buzzer letting you know that, hey, you're within range of that threshold, right? Of that alarm threshold. Maybe you want to check and see if the door's open or something, or if you actually have an issue. And then from there, after you surpass that warning and you actually hit your alarm, it's going to, again, activate the sirens, report to the central station, notify you in Alarm.com, all that good stuff. So those are your programming sections for that. And just like any other PowerG device, it's going to be 804 is your wireless programming, followed by the zone number. And then depending on whether or not it's a 56 or a 57, your subsections would be either 019 or 020. So next slide, please. And this I wanted to go back. There we go. Okay. Oh, no, you're good here. Sorry about that. The 056 and 057, I talked about it a moment ago about that 5-degree separation, but also just so you are aware, there is a restoration temperature variance there of 5 degrees too. So, and again, just to reiterate, when we talk about the Alarm.com Smarter Business temperature monitoring solution, you're either going to use a 056 or 057. That 24-hour non-alarm is for local only. Next slide, please. This one I wanted to throw in because I think a lot of our dealers don't realize that you can do this. If you have a keypad that's next to where the sensor is, and your customer wants to be able to see that temperature live in real time without having to dig in their app or anything like that, you can actually program this your keypad to display 2 temperatures at the same time from any sensor that has temperature capability, right? So the 9905. In this example, I had a temp sensor in a freezer. I just popped it in there really quick, or in a refrigerator, and one sitting on my desk. And I went into your keypad programming sections within the Pro or Neo in your 861, for instance. And then you enable your local temperature, and then you assign the zone that you want to display, and it'll just pop up right on your keypad. So easy programming there. Hey, Freddie, tell us about how this is programmed in the IQ panel.
Oh, thanks for asking, Joel. So basically, we're dealing with sensor groups, and 51, 52, and 53 in particular deal with this temperature sensor. 51 is your non-reporting group, which again will allow you to see the local temperatures, and I'll show you a little bit more on that. But the freeze 52 group is for freeze, that's for your low temperatures, and of course 53 being the high temperature setting group.
Very similar to Neo and Pro, right? As far as that goes.
Yes, sir, exactly. The numbers are a little different, but the reactions are the same. Here's what it would look like once you enroll your transmitter into the Qualsys IQ2 Plus panel. And you can see the sensor group 51, temperature non-reporting. And that threshold that you're seeing there, the -22 Fahrenheit, is if you have a probe, you'll be able to get that threshold down that low. Otherwise, you're at the -4 threshold as your lowest setting available. But with the probe, you have the ability to go down as low as -22 degrees Fahrenheit and as high as 158 degrees Fahrenheit. Here we're looking at the sensor group of 52. And again, we've got a probe on our test unit, so it gives us the ability to set that low threshold down to -22. That's amazing. And again, we use those low temps in freezers, and a lot of freezing applications, food storage. And then on the sensor group 53, we're worried about the high temperature settings. So
since I've already used it twice so far, I was going to say, since I've already used it as an example twice so far, I don't want my wine cooler getting too low and spoiling my good wine, right? So exactly, I want to know if it's going to get too cold.
Exactly right. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of institutions or bars, if you will, that are using this temperature sensor to monitor their beer keg temperatures.
Yeah, we see a wide variety of use here.
Yep, exactly. So I think we missed that. I'm going to back that up just a notch. But as an installer, you've got the ability to go in to your programming and visit your temperature sensor and click on more. And what ends up happening is you get a bunch of information, including what that temperature is sensing, what that temperature sensor is sensing at that moment. So you might notice the second line down is 83.3 degrees Fahrenheit. So
Yeah,
use
pretty
that.
warm. Pretty warm in my office when I was doing the snapshots.
Yeah, Joel, that looks like we could save some money and turn that AC up a little bit. Here we go.
At least the
So you
fan,
can
right?
strength. Notice it's strong. And of course, a lot of other information as far as firmware and updates.
So really quick, we did this a couple weeks ago on another workshop, was the advanced programming. That is under the system test page and specifically under the PowerG test. So that's where you would test all of your PowerG sensors, is what he's showing you right here, guys.
In order to get there,
next,
PowerG test.
Yep. Absolutely. So next we're going to show you what this does in Alarm.com and how we're utilizing Alarm.com's tools for us to get notifications. So outside of the SBTM, which is what we're going to talk about here shortly, that's more for commercial application. I really like this temp sensor being utilized in a residential application, and even with your standard everyday plan, your interactive gold package. Alarm.com gives you the ability to get notifications for 2 of these sensors. And I can tell you, in the real world, this paid off for me dividends not too long ago with having one of these sensors on a mini fridge that I had in my garage. That was where we kept a lot of our food and everything, and it bounced open, and my garage is 150 degrees in the summer out here. So I got a push notification on my phone when we left the house because I set up that in Alarm.com. So just like any other sensor that you set up notifications for, you can actually set the bounds that are separate from what you program locally on your panel, and you get a push notification whether it exceeds that value of the program threshold or goes below. So and what I'm showing you here is you can actually also log in, and this is a shot of the web interface, but you can do this from your phone too, and get a live readout of that temperature right from that sensor. As long as you have that added to the system and you have the thermostats checked as well, you'll get your temp sensor. Next page. So, and this is how we're set our threshold. So remember a moment ago I said you can actually choose your temperature alert. You can choose if it goes above, you can choose if it goes below, one or the other, whatever bounds, and then you are going to check which sensor you want that for and then add your recipient. So really easy. It's just like setting up any notification that you would do from Alarm.com. Just click save and go. So nice stuff. Very, very useful. I know it's, again, saved me quite a bit. So this is the next few slides I actually stole from our Alarm.com partner, so don't tell them. But this is Alarm.com's new package that works exclusively with the 3 panels that we're talking about, with the IQ2 Plus, with the PowerSeries Pro, with the Neo, and specifically with our PG9905 temp sensor. So this is for their Commercial Plus package. This is an add-on. Once you get Commercial Plus, you get this package, right? The Smarter Business Temperature Monitoring. You can add out of the box up to 5 of these sensors and get some reporting on how everything's working. So we got a lot of commercial customers that are taking advantage of this and monitoring things within their business. So if you think about how important it is to ensure food safety within temperature bounds, right? So that way it's not going out of bounds, or just getting real-time alerts to let them know if they're having issues with a refrigerator or a freezer or whatever it is, or maybe the employees are careless and they're leaving it open a little bit longer than they should. We're getting alerts through these sensors. Next page, please. Hey, while we're switching here, do we have any questions coming in so far?
Joel, I think
Oh,
most of the questions are being answered as you progress, so it's been great. Thank you.
Nice. Look at me anticipating the need, right? So one of the great things about this SBTM, so Smarter Business Temperature Monitoring Solution, is the reporting that the end user gets. So not only is they going to get notifications at the time that the incident is occurring, but they're actually going to be able to generate a report, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly. They're going to be able to see trends of how these things are operating. We actually had a customer put a few of these sensors into a restaurant, and the end user generated a report and saw a trend that refrigerator was kind of hovering at the high bound. And realize, hey, I need to get that refrigerator serviced before it takes a dive, and I'm SOL right then and there, right? So this is just an awesome report that they can get real information on money savings and cost savings and things like that. Next page, please. Awesome. And then you have a dashboard, a real-time monitoring dashboard that you can actually go through. You can get, a notification of current devices that are out of the thresholds. Click on them, get more expansive details. You can have multiple sites that are linked. So you're actually going to see, real-time status from individual sensors from multiple locations right in front of you, right? So this is another way to utilize these temperature sensors without having to incur a huge additional cost of, going in and working with the AC or refrigerant or HVAC company. It's you offering these solutions, right? So I think these are valuable tools and resources that us as intrusion haven't really looked at for too long, and really maybe haven't even profited from. And now we can go in, and if our customer asks us, hey, do you have a solution to so that way I can get notifications or on my freezer, my refrigerators, I can see the temperatures, or maybe they don't even ask you. Maybe you see it and offer it to them, right? These are the things that you're going to be able to just go in and just have a solution built in for them. Next slide. I think that's it, actually. Yeah.
Hey, Joel, I got a question for you. So
Sure.
Alarm.com recently upgraded the SBTM service to allow for freezer defrost cycles, right? So delaying the notifications. Any idea how
that's a biggie? Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great question, Neil. I'm glad you brought that up. So a lot of again, me saying that us being the intrusion folks aren't really maybe familiar with refrigeration and how it works. But all of these walk-in freezers and coolers, even your home refrigerator, have something called a defrost cycle. So, and that's so they can defrost the accumulation of ice on the coils, right? So that way it works properly. So what it does is it'll actually heat up and melt that stuff down, and in the course of it, it'll raise the temperature of the refrigerator or the freezer. And so in the past, what we notice is a lot of times that defrost cycle will go above the threshold for the notification, right? So let's say that your refrigerator's threshold was set at 40 degrees for a push notification. Well, every single day at 24 hours on the nose, you're probably going to get the same alert because it's creeping above 40, 41, 42 degrees. And so what Alarm.com smartly did was build in a delay for that push notification to be sent out. So you can actually say, hey, that defrost cycle lasts, 20 minutes. Well, we can delay that notification to be sent out 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. So that way you're not going to get the same push notification of an out of bounds every single day for it being too high. So yeah, great question, Neil. That was an awesome upgrade on that side.
Excellent question.
Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, Joel. So there was one that just came in from Chris. Is there a limit of how many of these 9905s can be installed on any system and on any one Alarm.com account? I think that's probably more important.
Yeah, there's two different answers there. So that's an awesome question. So technically speaking, on any of our panels, they could every zone could be one of these 9905s, right? There's no limitations as to how many that can be enrolled. So, I mean, you could have 128 of them. That's a lot of temperature monitoring, right? On the Alarm.com side, with interactive gold, it's 2. So you get 2 out of the box. That's what they'll monitor for you. On the Smarter Business Temperature Monitoring solution, you'll get 5 when you do the Commercial Plus package. But you can add to that for a maximum, and I believe, and I hope I get this right, I believe it's 45 total is what you can report on. I could be incorrect on that. I've been wrong once before, so I think I might be right on that. But if I'm not right,
Joel, I had to log in to tell you were wrong.
Thank you.
So
I'm wrong again.
No, you are right in the bundles. So it is two included in your basic, and then the first 5 when you get SBTM. But it is limited to those 7 plus 35. So 42. You were close.
42. Okay. So I'll take it. That's impressive that I remembered that. I'm saying. Any other questions, guys?
Well, no, actually, we just got corrected by Alarm.com, who decided to join the call. It is 5 for free. It's 5 for free, and then up to 40. So it's 5 plus 35, not those 2.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks
for saving us.
Thanks, Gavin.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? No? All right.
No,
I think we'll end it a couple minutes early here, and I hope you guys are enjoying these weekly workshops. Do you know what's next week, Neil?
Oh yeah, now you want to get me? Nice.
Don't worry about it. You'll see it in the email. But yeah, same bat time, same bat channel.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
See you
next week.